Hey, Jacob Romeo Lequier here. A couple people asked me about the process on this particular project, the key that I've been showing images from. And so I thought I'd just make a unscripted how the sausage is made video regarding this project and pages like this. So these begin as a screenplay. My vision for this project is that it feels like you're watching a 2D animated film as you read the comic. If and when we go to pitch this for something like animation, it also helps to have a product that is already kind of cinematic in nature. When we go to make pitch materials, boards, animatics, etc., it's already 90% of the way there. So this starts as a screenplay. One of my jobs is to translate the screenplay into actionable steps to give it life as a visual narrative. So I take this and then hand my art team something like this. So plenty of imagery to sort of dictate, in this case, what the interior might look like. I meet with my team. I talk about what I want them to get out of the imagery and what I do not want them to take from the images. And then I do a basic layout. Oftentimes not this tight. In a more complicated scene, I might do something a little bit cleaner, tighter. I also lay out all the text. My goal is to do as much of the groundbreaking that I can so that my art team can just do what they do best and do what they love most. The more trust, ownership, and place sandboxes to play in, big, open, obstacle-free sandboxes to play in that I can give them, the more happy they'll be on the project and the better the results will be. So this is maybe my 11th studio and my second startup environment. Depending on the studio, I will the nature of my role as an art director or as a creative director or as a visual development artist or concept artist will be different depending on the ethos of the company or the size of the company. In this instance, the company is very small, so I wear a lot of hats. Most of that's good. Some of it's not so good. There's some arduous stuff I'd rather not do. In the beginning process, I want to do as much of the heavy lifting as I possibly can to make way for my art team to do what they do best. So another thing I do on these projects at this particular studio are a lot of the hires. I was able to bring in Christian Horning, a screenplay writer that I know, onto this project. He's an amazing guy, such a pleasure to work with. So happy to have him on these pages. I'll talk about the team in just a second. They're also exceptional. Another example of the direction that I would give to my art team before they put final ink and paint to this. So nothing that I lay out initially exists except for in a conceptual way on the final pages. Sometimes, usually it's just linear, some indication of color and shadows. Sometimes I'll do more. In this instance, there's a lot of important things with lighting and color for this page, so I spent more time. This is a combination of painting, kind of photo bash illustration, concept art for one of the introductory pages that where the final looks like this. So again, my creative direction, pretty close to the final. Notice the last panel is different. So sometimes pages kind of like merge together during like final steps and stages. For example, here's a layout I did where the top panel became the last panel of this page. Now, the art team on this is small. Isabelle Dorr does the background painting. I'll give links to their work below. Incredible artist, wonderful to work with, humble, hungry, just a gift to have on our team. Mikael, a friend of mine and former student, Mikael Yusifov, does the art direction and he's a lead character designer on this. So, and he's just also just a gift, exceptional to work with. Really blessed to have the team I have on this project. And just as a sidebar, it's so important when you find good people to work with. As a friend and mentor of mine said a few years back, when you find those people, stick with them like glue, because you'll be working with, you can work with good people for, the duration of your career, and it's life or death within the context of a studio, at least internally, as far as your emotions go, working with a good team that is not only is competent, but is also just, wonderful to work with, thinks of others first. It has a collaborative spirit, etc. And people who I get to work with on this certainly, check all those boxes. So another example of my initial art direction, and then how that art direction is actualized in just a really exceptional way by the art team on this project. Mikael, Yusifov, and Isabelle, Dorr. Again, links below. Just couldn't be more pleased to be working with these guys on this project. My layouts and creative direction and the final project. An ideal situation on a team is, you consistently give them something and they give you something back that's even better and more glorious than what you imagined. And certainly in the case of this project, this page we saw before, and then the final, this one's pretty close, pretty one-to-one, which isn't always the case. So also give my team lots of trust and ownership, or attempt to, on this project. Sometimes Mikael, who works directly under me, will radically change the layout for the better, 9 times out of 10. Sometimes, maybe there was an intention I didn't make clear and I have to go back and do some editing, but usually not the case. I usually just have to get the ball rolling, and then the team I'm working with on this just gives me results that are much better than even what I imagined. So again, initial layout, final page. That's about our whole process on this project. You can see more of this project at astronaut.com. There's a preview of both of the stories we're working on, Lucille and the Day of Changes, and The Key, the book you're looking at right now. And the only other thing I'll mention is that in some of the scenes, which are more complex, and or that our viewer returns to at several points in the story, I'll make a simple 3D model of the scene so that we have continuity and consistency in the scene, and also so that B, I can move the camera around the scene in order to choose the most dynamic angles that also move the story forward in the most optimal way. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I sincerely wish you the very best in all your creative pursuits.